Hello and welcome back to Horror and Heels. I'm your host, Alicia Messier.
And I'm your host, Jen Driver.
And today we are talking about the 2005 version of House of Wax. If you listen to the 1953 version, you know we didn't care for it. I think this is one of the first, but probably not the last time you're going to hear me say, I liked this version a heck of a lot better. I thought the kills were great. I thought the build-up was fabulous. And Chad Michael Murray, Jared Padalecki.
That's J-Pad.
Whom we all know. Jared, we love you. Come on the show. And Jen's crush of her childhood, whom I just learned we pronounce it Robert Richard.
Yes.
So, and for those of you who don't know, all three of those exquisite-looking men spent time on the WB/CW lot. So I had assumed that the casting director just went over there and just started picking people from that lot. Because honestly, good choice in the early 2000s to do that.
All the names.
The CW at that point, but it could have been the WB. I'm not exactly sure when it turned over.
Yeah.
Everyone was there and just killing it. But no, apparently they cast Paris Hilton first.
Built it around her and her character for whatever reason.
Yeah, so that's a questionable decision. It was said that when her character died in the movie, people in the theaters actually cheered. So that's a funny tidbit. And I feel bad for her that is a tidbit.
Yeah, she probably loved it though. She's like, that's hot. She's like, they love me. That's hot.
Yeah. And now we've lost her as a listener, so
it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll pick it back up.
Get her back later.
Hey, so.
We have another. Sorry, go ahead.
Had you ever seen this before?
Yes, a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember watching it when it came out, but I didn't remember enough that I hadn't seen it enough times. The scares still punched for me. The kills still punched for me.
Yeah. And the story, the twist or the whatever at the end.
Oh, that you didn't know. You didn't see that coming?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
Not.
I didn't. Well, we'll get there. Yeah, I did not see him being related. Did I think he knew in some capacity? Yes. I thought he worked for
Oh, you mean the third? Yes, that guy. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's
that. Although I didn't see that coming either, but I did know that he knew what was going on.
What are you talking about?
How she said, like, it turns out that the normal one was the crazy one. The one that was throwing a tantrum in the beginning that they strapped down.
Yeah.
It was the normal one, not the one with the face problem. I don't know. To me, that was a twist because you would expect him to have been that one.
Oh, no. That made sense to me because when you see him killing, he's obviously mute. He's obviously like non-verbal, so he was probably very easy as a baby. Most non-verbal babies are pretty easy.
Yeah.
No. To me, I'm sorry, that wasn't a twist. I didn't view that as a twist.
Oh, okay.
I assumed that the whole time because when you see him with his truck pull up to the campsite, maybe you missed this. His arm is all fucked up. When his arm is hanging out of the truck at the campsite, you can see the wrist marks.
Okay, I didn't catch the wrist marks till she saw them when he was like tying her up.
No. Sorry, you can clearly see them in the.
Yeah, I missed that.
Okay, that's how you missed how everything was happening.
Well, because then in the way she says it at the end, it sounded like it was a big like thing because she was like, "Oh, I know it was you, and it wasn't your brother." Like they kind of made it sound like it was a reveal moment.
Oh no! I just took that as she was using her twin knowledge to do anything to not get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're jumping ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, folks.
We're so
you know
ahead.
What? You're 5 episodes in. You've met us at this point.
Yeah, you know what happened.
Okay.
So we open with like the generic. Oh no, with the scene, the family scene.
Yes, she's trying very hard to make her wax figures, and then the bad twin breaks her little mold.
Yep.
and he's getting strapped down, and my heart broke, but also in a way understood, because when you have a child like that, sometimes I'm sure as a parent, listen, I have a very good kid, and there are times when I'm like, oh, look, your bedtime's 9 o'clock. Clock says 8, and all of a sudden you're getting to bedtime. So I can understand if you have given birth to a demon child, that you're like, oh, let's strap you down at 6. Mama needs a Chardonnay. So, and then immediately we cut to present day, which, if you're doing math, means you're looking for somebody in their 30s at this point. Yeah. Late 20s, early 30s, because you can't really tell how old the kids are in the chairs. They look by height, with the legs dangling, to be about 3. But we don't have definitive proof of that. First of all, Chad Michael Murray, you're a beautiful man. And loved that he was playing the bad boy. Yeah. He played it a little bit on Gilmore Girls as Tristan. On One Tree Hill, not at all. He was definitely the good guy. So that was unique to me. I also loved that him and Elisha Carly were twins. I thought that was a great plot device. Yeah.
And it was another
and I also like that because they could have easily played where he's trying to get with Carly, but Carly's with J-Pad's character, and they not like them for that. Yeah. But the fact that it's more of like a brother-boyfriend rivalry, I find more interesting. Yeah.
Well, and it was interesting that we had another sibling survival thing. Yeah. And J-Pad was on the other side of that in Friday the 13th, where he was the brother, and then it was his sister he was looking for, and then in this one we had another brother-sister duo. Yeah. And they're the survivors. So apparently only siblings. That's another new trope, I guess. You have a sibling. You have a sibling, you're going to live.
Okay. Now, clearly these are people of means, okay? Look at these 2 cars. I'm not saying that you have to pay for a hotel. I'm not even saying that. Get yourself a real campground.
Yeah, like what?
Road is washed out, and we're just
gonna chill on the side of the road. Okay.
This is unsafe. This is unsafe. I don't know. Have these 6 people never seen a horror movie before in their entire lives?
Like they were the stereotypical group of.
Oh,
it was highly like just after I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, eye roll. They're so. I mean, it was almost the exact same thing from Friday the 13th, where you have a couple that wants to have sex, and then you have the girl, and I was like, wow, this is like beat for beat.
Oh yeah.
The tropes, for a horror movie.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, though. You're a black person.
Yes, I am.
I spend time with a lot of black people. I gotta tell you, I couldn't get one of them to stay at a bougie campsite with me. Or maybe this is also because I hate camping and like attracts like.
Those are your people, yeah.
Those are my people. We're not. Funnily, I married a camper. He loves it. Cause me, I can go. But even last year, I said, okay, we'll go camping. We went to the Hershey campsite. Beautiful, beautiful bathrooms. You got 3 pools. You've got an inside park. They have a center for you to get your morning coffee.
Oh, okay. That sounds super nice.
They've got a shuttle to and from Hershey Park. It's lovely. If you think Alicia is posting up in a plot by the side of the road where I'm going to have to hold myself up against the tree to do my lady business, you all got another thing coming. I work too hard to go on vacation and pretend I'm a poor person. I don't know. Like, God, I love Jim Gaffigan. And when he does the bit where his wife's like, well, camping's a tradition in my family. And he's like, yeah, so was everybody until we found houses. Like, And I'm with you, Jim. I'm with you. So, and also I have to tell you, so they get there, they set up, fine, everything's going well. The second that truck pulled up and acted like that, that's the second you know it the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, time to go, because this person. And then I like how he got all like, oh, you better turn off your lights or I'm gonna whoop your ass. I was like, no, that's not the situation for that. You are in his territory,
right?
And he's obviously creeping. So.
And the fact that they said, oh, well, we didn't go through a gate to get on this land, as if that's the only signifier of private property, that blew my mind. I was like, yeah, that's not how that works. Especially in the country, that's not how that works.
Right. And if it's a crazy person, I don't think they give a shit if there was a sign or not. That really doesn't matter, does it?
No. So yeah. So you got money, stay at a real campground. I'm not even saying it has to be a fancy campground. I am not monetarily shaming. There are plenty of campsites in states that are literally just plots of land.
Oh, yeah.
That are like $10, $15 for the night. Do that so you're not alone in the woods.
No, that's how I camp. When I do camps, I do those campsites where it's like you're out in the wilderness, but you're not out in the wilderness. Like, I can't even imagine just camping out. Every time I hear of that or see that, I'm like, wow, you just took a tent out to the middle of nowhere and just were out.
God bless. Now, I do love that nobody dies the first night. I think that's a great plot device. It kind of makes you feel a little safe. You know you're not, but it just...
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. Blake was being such a douche about the football game. I'm glad he couldn't get there. Sorry, not sorry.
He said I'm not going to miss the greatest game or whatever.
And I love how they never tell us which game. So
yeah. Just a random, whatever your favorite game is, that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Clearly, he was a recent graduate trying to relive his glory days on that field, is what I took from that situation.
Boy.
Nick, also known as Chad Michael Murray. I like that while it is clear that him and his sister are having problems, he still takes up for her. Like,
oh, yeah.
She says to Dalton, I don't want to be filmed. He's immediately in Dalton's face, like, stop fucking doing that. Now let's talk about the next morning. Bitch, don't go near the rancid smell.
Yeah, why?
No.
You smell that and then you run in the other direction.
Yes, I don't usually give Paris Hilton or the character she plays a lot of credit, but when she says, yeah, let's not do that, that's the smartest thing she said the entire runtime of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what happens? You get roadkill on you. Oh. And you know what? That's what you deserve for being a nosy bitch.
Yeah, that was...
Now, that should have been your first clue that something in this town
is a myth.
Because no town is just having a roadkill pit.
Just a pile of roadkill. And then the guy's like, oh, it's funny. I put a fake hand in there because it would be funny. Okay.
Weirdo.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. No town that's functioning nearby would allow that because the stench... Listen. I remember in an episode of Gilmore Girls, and I bring this up because both Chad Michael Murray and Jared Padalecki both starred in that show, and they were great. One day, a pickle truck flipped. And apparently the pickle truck flipped on the Woodbury side of the line of the town. So the Stars Hollow guy didn't want to pay to clean it up, even though the stench was affecting the people of Stars Hollow and not the people of Woodbury. And the rest of the town said to him, pay the money now. We're not smelling this another 10 seconds. And that's what any normal town folks would do. So assume that either A, you're near a significantly abandoned town. We're talking Children of the Corn style here.
Yeah.
Or
there's nobody.
Or if there are people there, they don't mind this smell. And honestly, the latter would be more concerning to me.
Oh yeah, people who
Not
don't mind
minding the smell.
people who don't mind the smell of roadkill. Yeah, I'd be like,
Even the
okay,
guy,
well,
even when they're in the truck with the dude. And by the way, would you have gotten in the truck with
no,
that guy?
no, not even. I
He's
would
covered
walk.
in roadkill.
I would walk. I'd be like, nope, we're good.
We're good, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. But they do. Now, I thought it was very nice that Nick gives his sister his tank top. I also thought it was very nice that Nick gave his sister his tank top. Because, well,
Because you wanted to see it.
yeah, and that's good times. Well, come on. Women are forever taking off their tops in a horror movie.
Oh yeah.
Do it too. Equal opportunity sexism right here. But I also loved that scene, not because he's taking off his shirt, but the reason being, my sister's need is greater than my own. I can go with, and I love how all three of them see the creepy man looking, and like her boyfriend Wade stands right in front of her. Even Dalton puts the shirt and is holding it to prevent him. Like,
that chivalry.
You can tell these are good men. Are they silly? Are they a little? But even though Nick is fighting with his sister, he's still gonna have her back. Even Dalton is like, dude, you don't do that to our friend. Like, they are good. I'm not saying these are men lacking problems in any way. I'm saying
yeah, no, they have integrity. They have,
and I like that because it makes you root for them. I like when you're sometimes, and I said this in the Friday the 13th remake, some of those people, they were just so horrible. You were like, yes, oh my God, you're dead, thank you. Like, as much as like we joke about Paris Hilton, she was a good friend. Like, she was really kind to everybody in them.
Yeah, there were no like.
You don't want that for her character. Like, and I like that. I like that we liked all the people before. And I liked that they gave us time to like all these people before they got. Like, I felt like I knew them before the crimes started happening.
Yeah, it makes me so sad though. I like when I hate them and I'm like, I can't wait to see you die. Because I don't want to like them and then they're gone, then I'm sad. But it adds dimension. It adds
another layer.
Yeah,
that I think is
something's at
don't
stake.
See that all the time.
Yeah, it's something's at stake, and you're not. Oh, when are they gonna die? You're like, oh, I hope they actually make it. So it kind of adds another thing to it to make it more interesting when you're not rooting for them to die.
No, I'm sorry. You step foot in that town and you don't immediately know something's amiss.
Oh yeah.
I would have not stolen. I would have taken the size 16 fan belt, put a 20 on the counter, and gotten my ass back to I'm not looking in that wax museum.
Yeah, no. And it was literally a house of wax. Everything made out of wax. I'd be like, this is strange. And then I when the woman was opening the curtain, I was like, well, that's not you're about to get home alone. Like
yeah. And then you walk into the funeral. Only one person turns around and looks at you.
Yeah.
You don't think that's weird.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, he can help you in about a half an hour.
Yeah, they're going to take the casket to the grave and bury it, and he'll be there in 30 minutes.
And I understand that small towns, maybe you don't lock your doors, but like nothing's locked in town, but also no one anywhere.
Yeah. There were no people. Nobody's on the street. Nobody's doing anything.
That town wasn't making a sound.
No.
It wasn't even a howling dog. Like
a stray dog, like something. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they weren't bothered by this at all. I would have been like, well.
So once again, you're saying you've never seen Children of the Corn because.
No, but this is why I watch horror movies so that I can recognize these kind of situations.
Oh yeah.
Because when you don't, then you're like, oh, this is fine. And I'd have been like, no, this is not fine. This is extremely weird.
Also, not for nothing, these are two people who it has been established they are small town folk.
Yeah.
So are certain things that we, as big city folk, take as weird. Do they not like the locking of the door? Like, oh, the door is just open. Oh, because he just, like, listen, I went to a gas station the other day. The dude was using the bathroom. There was a sign at the bathroom, be back in 5 minutes. Like, lock the door.
Yeah.
He was really in the bathroom in the building.
And you lock the door.
So, like, but once you see nobody, to me, that's a whole nother
That's a
level.
cute.
Yeah.
But now I'm trying to remember, because when in the funeral scene, I thought that the priest moved. I thought maybe I imagined it because I was like, there's no way I would stay here if, there weren't other. So he was just a plot. That's so weird, because I could have sworn while I was watching that he like looked at them or something.
He does. He's kneeling. He turns.
No, the preacher. No,
the priest is standing in a way that no matter when you walk through those doors, he is, yes, looking at you. But he does not need to. The body doesn't need to do
Dude,
that.
I totally would have sworn that he like moved or something, because I was like, oh, there's another live person. But I guess I imagined that, or they did a really good job of making it seem that way. That's creepy.
Oh, it definitely seems that way.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Ugh.
And the fact that nobody gasps that somebody has entered a church.
Right. Nobody else turns around.
There's no noise.
Nope.
Weird. And then, so they decide to check out the wax museum while they got a scant 30 to kill. And
a throwback to Vincent Price when they get in there. Well, the guy's name is Vincent, which was their little nod to Vincent Price.
Yes.
But yeah, everything made of wax. I would have been like, somebody has too much time on their hands.
Right. Correct. And the fact that none of those people are celebrities.
Yeah. Who are these people? Why are they wax? Why did you choose to make them in wax?
Right. Like, hello. I loved the dog scene where he thinks it's a wax dog and
and he just barks at him.
I love, to be fair, really good detail work on those items. Like, can't take anything, because there was a lot of wax work in there that wasn't people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad that, like, the brother was being used by the bad brother for his talent. But what's even sadder is that, like, he had real talent. Like, you could have really done something with that instead of perverted it. And that to me is so sad. So they leave and they're back at the gas station. And for some reason, these people just keep spending time with strangers.
They're fine with it. They are totally fine with it.
Don't do that.
Don't ever do that.
Go up to this man's house because he says he has a 15-inch belt.
So you can just bring it here. You can go to your house, get it, and then go ahead and bring all your things to the store.
Now, here's my other thing. I own a postcard bigger than this town. You did not need to get in his automobile.
Yeah. Right.
Also, JPEG, you've got a penis. You don't need to go inside this house to pee.
No. The world is your toilet, as I say.
Yes. As most men say, do not get into a strange man's house.
No.
That should just be a life rule.
It always has been for me.
I know. So that happens. And this is when shit starts going downhill. Now, Carly, I would have not honked the horn because that immediately let everybody know you were onto them in the beginning.
Yeah. Right.
You go in, you lie, and say, oh, I got a pee too.
Yep. And then you find your brother.
It was her boyfriend at this point. It's Wade.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Wade, that's in there. You get Wade and you get the fuck out of Dodge. Now, I will give her credit. She tries. She does a fairly good job with that truck. But
locking the doors. I was actually very impressed with that. I was like, okay.
Yes. And then she drives it. She tries. But, not hard enough. And she gets captured. And your heart just...
Oh, it's so sad. Like,
So first of all, you see him tape her up the way he was taped up as a child.
yeah, on the wrist.
Yeah, and the ankles. And then all of a sudden, though, here comes brother and Dalton. And at first, the brother's like, oh, she's not here. And Dalton's like, well, we need to split up and look.
Yeah.
Who would have thought of all the people, Dalton would have been the one with the most sense? But okay.
All the split ups. Okay. Why that's the first thing you want to do, I don't know.
Yeah, don't get it. But okay. So they do that. And I've got to hand it to Carly. Tough bitch alert, because she gets out. And
after he freaking super glues her lipstick, that I was like, oh,
did
God.
you read? Not prosthetics.
Oh.
They did that to her. She insisted so that it would look real.
Oh no! See, that's going too far.
There's not enough Aquaphor in the world that's going to clear up that problem.
No, I'm good on that. That's when you're taking your craft too far. Like,
yes,
this,
yeah, no.
This movie is starring Paris Hilton. You are not really putting super glue on my lips for a movie that stars Paris.
Right? Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
On Paris Hilton. That's just not gonna happen.
So.
But then why don't you just keep your mouth open? I know they made it try to like. They didn't even show her like opening her mouth and then him closing it or holding it closed. I was like, because I definitely would have parted my lips or something. Like, she didn't even try.
So for me personally, I personally wouldn't have tried. No, and I'll tell you why. This is as a woman who works with a lot of super glue. The drier the area is, the quicker it dries, and the quicker and better it dries, actually easier to get it off and apart.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So if she kept her mouth shut, it would be...
You would not have wanted that to think about it. Would you have wanted that to drip onto your teeth, onto your tongue? I think her thought process was, let me minimize the area that this product is getting on, because then, like, if I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about it, and it's hard to think, I know it's hard to think, but now thinking about it, if I was sitting there and somebody's coming at me with crazy glue, let me keep my lips tight, let him do what he wants to do, because then it's not getting everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's fair. That makes sense.
But I gotta give it to her. She got those things pretty broken pretty quick.
Yeah.
Loses a finger.
After losing your finger, God, that's one of my worst fears, is losing any kind of extremity or like.
And just the tip, not even the whole thing. Just the.
I didn't understand what her game, like, I don't understand why she didn't take that metal thing and bang it.
Well, no, because she was trying to do it silently in hopes that Nick would see her finger.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I get where she was. I'm not saying it was the best thought out plan, but I can see where she was going. Like, she's trying to not alert him to the fact that she's gotten undone, while alerting to her brother to the fact that it didn't work. Okay, she lost a tip.
The index finger. That's like important.
So then Nick hears her scream and immediately.
Right, as he's about to try to kill him anyways. Like, they're walking away and he was about to stab him.
Right. And then jumps into super brother mode. And listen, I gotta say, not too bad to have an ex-con as a brother when you've got a psycho murderer after you. I'm just saying. And also, I love that we find out that it wasn't actually him that stole the car, that it was Dalton, and that protected Dalton. I think that makes us as an audience like him more.
Oh, definitely.
Believe in him more and trust in him more when his time to come and save his sister comes up, because you see that that's a core value for him, protecting the people that he cares about.
Yeah.
So,
it's around this point that Dalton finds J-Pad, right? Like,
yes,
at the piano.
So now we have 3 kind of different stories happening at once. We have Dalton over by Wade, and I gotta say, Dalton's murder is just phenomenal. I mean, blades through the neck. Oh.
Yeah. But
I mean, to be fair, a quick way to die.
Yeah.
Quick way. Not a good way, a quick way.
Quick. Hopefully. You hope it was painless. But can we go back to him finding JPEG and then being like, oh, I'm going to get you out of there. Once I saw that skin was coming off,
I would have stopped.
Would have stopped peeling. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand why he kept going. I was like, stop doing it. I was yelling at my computer. I was like, stop doing that.
I think his adrenaline, I don't think he, he was probably so scared, just grasping at straws, trying something.
But
how sad too that in this movie the only time we see JPEG topless is when he's about to get shanked with wax. That was sad.
And it's totally, he removed all the hair off of him. I'm like, isn't that extra work? Why don't you just keep the hair on?
No. If you see, he removed it to then put it back on.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, that seems like a lot of
extra. Because the wax would have covered it. Right. And I'm wondering. I'm wondering if hair would have made it hard for the wax to stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was right.
Once again, I'm not waxing a live person like in wax. I know about removal of wax. It's painful.
And do you think you could? I mean, I get waxed. Oh Lord, I can't even imagine. And he did like the full face all at once. I can't even imagine that kind of pain.
No.
But do you think you could survive that? Like I said, I was like, well, yeah, it's just topical. You would just be burned, so you could still be alive in there. But did he cover his eyes?
He didn't. Oh.
Because it looked like he was just totally covered.
Yeah, that contraption that he put the head in must do something to the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
we're really delving in deep into, once again, a movie that stars Paris Hilton here.
Right. Fine. It's fun. Really.
Hi. And so then poor Dalton is trying to get out and he dies. Then so that's kind of like the C storyline happening at this point. The B storyline is Paris Hilton and Blake. And now you get to see your Robert topless. How was that for you? Was that good? Was it good for you?
Oh, you don't even
Robert, if you're listening, I'm saying the crush was not past tense, so give Jenna a
I mean, I would not kick him out of bed or not answer his phone call. I'm just saying.
There you go, Robert. You've heard it here first. The content on this show, really. What was I gonna say?
Then their whole storyline was trying to have sex. That was their whole.
Well, and here's the thing. She must have been a day late, an hour late. There's no way she was like a month or two pregnant. You know what I mean? And that ready to fuck.
Yeah.
For the first 3 months of my pregnancy, I was so nauseous. I was dying, dying, and I tell my son that all the time. We took a Thanksgiving ride to Pennsylvania, and it is to this day the worst car trip I've ever taken.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
I was just sipping ginger ale the entire, and at that point I didn't even know I was pregnant yet. And I was just dying the entire car ride.
Oh, that's even worse. You don't even know why you're sick? That's awful.
We thought I had prednisone poisoning from not being correctly off prednisone. No, see, a lot of good things happening in my body.
Yeah.
We might cut this out in post.
Yeah, it's fine.
But I do feel bad that I kind of hate the pregnancy storyline because if she was like, he killed 2 people and one of those wasn't, not that she wasn't innocent either, but was a
baby.
That kind of bothered me only because we didn't really need that storyline.
Yeah, it didn't add anything.
Or even if you kind of wanted to have it, then that morning you could have, if you wanted to have it that night and then kind of have that kind of maybe like little bit of drama with that. But then on the way home, maybe when they're stuck in the car, her be like, listen, if I don't get a bathroom and get a tampon up in it, something to let the audience know she wasn't.
Yeah.
I just would have preferred that, but maybe that's just the mom in me. I don't know.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get it on, and she's trying to tell Blake, and I know he doesn't know, but why? And I know it's the plot's voice, but Blake, why is the music more important?
Right. Well,
Why? You can't fuck without music? I'm very confused. I'm confused. And then,
for some people.
What a horrible death. Just a horrible death.
His was
just a knife right in the throat.
Yeah, in the throat. Oh, God. And then she had to find him there like that.
Yeah. Then she just throws on a robe and starts running through the woods and somehow ends up in the old sugar mill. And no, I know I've said I don't camp. I'm not a camper. This is something that I am very much, when I do go camping, the one time every 2 to 3 years that I do it. My shoes, and I like a slip-on type of sneaker for when I'm camping.
I mean, that's fair. You're going to be able to
get
them on quick.
Right by my bed. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with any other fear other than the need to urinate is going to come on so quick, and I'm going to have to run to the bathroom, and I'm going to need my sneakers right there to do that. That's really where that comes from in the middle of the night.
I just need to be ready at all times. And that kind of situation.
Ready. I'm just ready to use the facilities.
Gotcha.
When we were planning our campsite, I made my father pick like the campsites closest to, but not next to the bathrooms. Those were my rule. And we were right there.
That's fair.
That was good.
Once again, we're not dudes. The world is not our bathroom. So.
By the way, when we were camping at Hershey, there was this family, and they had for kids they make it, and it's like a pop-up pack and play for when you camp, and it has a nice shade bush and everything, like shade screen on the top for the kiddies, and it's very nice. Mm-hmm. This woman had one for her cat. She had his little cat village in there, and his cat bed, and his bowl, and his litter box. This cat lived better than me. Okay.
A lot.
The cat had a lot of accoutrement for
I can't when people do that stuff for their pets. Oh, that's hilarious.
I was like, God, I didn't pack this much stuff for myself for this camping trip. This cat is living the life.
Like, why not just stay home at that point?
And then poor Paris Hilton, see, and this is why you don't run without shoes, knife in foot.
Yeah, that part, that whole scene just freaked me out, like, with the stabbing up in the, I was like, okay, I don't like that.
Yeah, and that's a pretty popular kill method in a lot of movies, I feel.
But for some reason in that one, it was just like, I don't know, it seemed more urgent. I don't know, it gave me the creeps more than usual. Because we have seen that before, but something about that was just like, oh, God.
Yeah.
I think because he could see where she was. Like, usually it's like through a floor, and they're just guessing where you are.
Right, no. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And with that, it was like, that he see where you are, so...
And then she does try. She gets herself the metal piping.
Yeah.
So that was good. And then she immediately loses the metal piping, and then the metal piping is in her head.
Yeah.
And then he returns to the house. Carly and her brother are in the house. And he doesn't know that yet. By the way, motherfucker survived 2 arrows.
Right?
What?
And walked himself into the house, like.
And not for nothing, but I feel like that took a while. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it was 2 seconds later and he was up.
No.
And he decides to take the 1 arrow out of his arm. I'm like, well, now you're just going to start bleeding out from there. I mean, and also, so he had the wherewithal of mind to cut it at the one at the heart. Wouldn't you have done the same with this one in your arm so it was smooth? I mean, I get what they were doing. They wanted that scene. They wanted our visceral reaction. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Ugh. So Carly and her brother are trying now to escape, and this broke me when they see Dalton. And Nick wants to save him. And I feel bad because I think Nick thinks he broke Dalton's neck.
Right, I was trying to figure out, I was like, does he know that was already like that before he
No, he didn't. So now that's, I mean, and I'm sure once, they'll be autopsy.
So figure it out, yeah.
So hopefully he will know at some point in his life that wasn't him, but just to even have to think that in the moment is pretty horrific.
Yeah.
And then, so they're running, and all of a sudden, they're turning on all the lights in the creepy little town. And here's my main question. Where are these brothers getting money from?
That's a good question.
The electrical grid hasn't turned these people off?
No. Nope.
There's a total of 3 people in this town. We're not generating any income.
Yeah. I got nothing. But my problem with that whole scene was, why do you think flicking lights on and off is not going to tell them where you are? As they were flicking, I was like, so you're flicking on all these lights, they're going to know that these lights are flickering. You don't think that they're going to find you? Because then they were moving kind of slow, like, oh, we're fine. We can just dot, like, they weren't, like, in a hurry to get out of there.
Yeah, they weren't thinking that through. Okay. But at this point, these poor people, I mean, she's lost a fingertip. He's been pretty beaten. They're not at their right mind at this point, okay?
They were thinking well enough to think that we need lights. The whole, let's flip all the lights back and forth. I was like, you flip one, like, because they weren't chasing them at that point. So they weren't in that much of a hurry to where they should have been frantically flicking lights off and on. That's all I'm saying. Like, you know? And I was like, now you're just showing him where you're at. Because he knows where the light switches are, obviously.
Yeah. Maybe they were hoping that was simply the panel for the underground.
Could be, yeah.
Because I, too, might assume in a large house scenario like that there would be multiple panels.
Yeah.
So, maybe, once again, film starring Harris.
So,
perhaps we not think too much into this. Then they are upstairs, and I mean, the final fight scene is just great. I love Carly trying to reason with Vincent. I love Bo just arrow getting turned. I mean,
yeah, just right in the heart. And the whole house melting. Like, that was actually a pretty cool scene of the
when they realize they can go straight through the wall.
Oh yeah, that's cool. But just everything melting and, like, Bo's body going through the floor and, like, just seeing all that. That seems actually like it would have been a cool set to be on, just to have all that, other than almost burning the studio down.
Yes.
But just
yeah, if you guys didn't listen to part 1, they almost burned down the sound studio on this one too. They did burn down the sound studio in the 1953 one. This burning resulted in a $7 million lawsuit. I'm not exactly sure how much the burning one, if there was any kind of legal damages or anything in that one. But yes, that was very well done. Now, here's the thing. She asks the cops how nobody could have known about this.
Oh, yes.
And he was like, well, once the sugar mill closed, what? What the fuck? He was just like, yeah, it kind of went by the wayside.
Yeah, he was like, we just kind of forgot it was there.
How do you forget a
town?
I don't understand. Like, I'm sorry, and maybe once again, this is you and I not understanding small towns, not understanding the topography of places that aren't trying to put a mall or a outlet on every corner of property we have.
Right.
If there was that much acreage that wasn't being utilized,
and again, they had electricity.
They still had, that's my question. I didn't see solar panels
anywhere.
They didn't look like they were living that off the grid. That's what I'm saying. And he had supplies and they had petrol, at least for the three of them, because the three of them had trucks.
Yeah.
So where were they going? The petrol's either coming in or they're going somewhere to get it.
Roadkill. They figured out how to run their trucks roadkill.
He says things get delivered. Now, I don't think that's true. He probably went somewhere to get them. But yes, at the minimum, this town had electric and water. So where were those things coming from that a utility company didn't want? Now, listen, in Children of the Corn, in Gatlinsville, nothing, okay? Listen, these kids were off the grid. Yeah. They were living off the land. There was no electric. They had pump water, okay? I'm just saying, I'm just pointing out facts. This was a gap in the story that it almost felt more like the cop was like, we kind of knew, but we couldn't prove it, so moving on.
Kind of, brushed over it.
Yes, and he's like, yeah, I guess they were picking people up off the highway for years and nobody knew.
So these people would go missing from this area.
Right.
And there was just no real investigation. They were like, meh, it's fine.
Yes. Yes, apparently. Now, you were saying that you thought Vincent having been the good brother was a twist.
Yes.
I guess because I was immediately looking for the brother with the marks on his wrist when he drove to the campsite. It wasn't until very later with the yellow truck that I realized Vincent could also drive. But at first, didn't realize, when you first see Vincent moving around, I didn't think he was capable of driving.
Yeah.
So I immediately knew it was the other brother based on the fact that you see the scars when he comes to the campsite.
Yeah.
I did think it was good that the first brother that picks them up, they do a really good job of not letting you see his wrists.
Yeah.
You kind of quickly you see them, but it's so quick you're not sure, and then you don't see them again. And they do point out though that it was a different truck, but
yeah, because the headlights were fixed.
Yeah. But
because they didn't show the face, so
right.
I feel like they were trying to make it so that you didn't know which one was which, and then you would assume because he was deformed that he was the one all freaking out and all of that. So then when she sees his wrist and then she sees the chair, the name was Bo on it and not Vincent. Right. You're like, oh crap, he was not the he was the crazy one.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
But then you'd figured it out already.
We've had this discussion. I think I'm just always looking for that. I wish I could just sit and watch a movie and not. I wonder if I would enjoy the movie.
Yeah, I do it a lot. I do it a lot too, where I can see what's coming.
Yeah.
So when I do get a twist, I'm always like, oh, that was fun, because usually I can call that from.
Yeah, I do have to admit. Sorry.
You're fine. Are we boring?
You're boring. Didn't see the roadkill guy. Whose name I think they ever say, but
being the
third brother. Now, obviously, I assumed he knew something, and I assumed he was the guy in town that they paid in some capacity to clean up the road, etc., because leaving the road like that would have attracted some sort of town municipality.
Yeah.
Somebody would have been like, just driving through, if they were to hit roadkill that had been left on the road, would have contacted. Listen, I was driving one night, all of a sudden, the truck right in front of me, I guess, now clearly the deer had already been dead, but it went right under the truck right in front of me, and because it happened so quickly, it went right under my car too.
Yeah.
So I immediately pull over. I was definitely not, first of all, it was too dark, and I would not have been strong enough to a deer, but secondly, it was way too dark. I would have gotten hit by a car.
Yeah.
So I immediately pull over, and I call our town municipality, non-emergent, not 911, but the 24-hour number. And I say, listen, on this stretch of highway, there is a deer. It is dead. It is not on the side of the road. It keeps going under people's cars. It is going to cause an accident.
Yeah.
I said, do I need to stay here? They're like, no, you can go. We're sending somebody to clean that right now. So in my head, I guess because of having that, and that's happened, that's the only time I've ever ran over one, but I've definitely called about roadkill on a road multiple times, because when it's a large buck or doe, it's very, so just knowing that people call for things like that, I assumed he was getting paid some sort of sum to clean the roadway.
Yeah.
And to bring people to town should need be. I did not see that twist coming.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And they don't say if he was older or younger, huh? I mean, I guess he was younger. He looked younger.
He looked younger.
Yeah. And then it's like, is he going to rebuild and like try to do it himself? Because they kind of tried to make it creepy, but I was like, he wasn't really a threat. So I was like,
he didn't seem like the brightest bulb, so I'm not entirely sure what he thought was going on. I think he was very happy to be cleaning up roadkill.
Right.
Because he was even like, well, if it's fresh, he's like, I got used to the smell. Yeah, God bless you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But that's what I mean. Like he doesn't seem like they tried to make it this creepy. Like, oh, he was a third brother. Like,
yeah.
To me, it would have been creepy had he been some kind of a threat, or had it seemed like he could do something. But I was just kind of like, that's fine. It didn't add to it, if you know what I mean. Like,
but here's the thing, and this is what I've learned from watching Criminal Minds, etc. Maybe he wasn't involved. But clearly, there is some sort of mental disconnect in his family tree.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
This could be an inciting incident for him. We at least need to get him in for questioning.
Find out what he knew, what was going on.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, let's get him out of this burnt down travesty of a town.
Oh,
that is now covered in wax.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Covered.
I love how they sank down to the level to get out. I was like, you need to kind of put a little pep in your step, because it might just melt on top of you instead of lowering you down like a nice little elevator.
Yeah. I thought the special effects were great. I thought the kills were great. I thought when Dalton was throwing the wax plates, I'm like, you don't understand how wax works, Dalton, and I'm concerned for you.
No, I mean,
at that point he was trying anything, but it was just so funny to see them fling and nothing happened.
Just like knocking them out. I was like, yeah, that's not really gonna work as well as you'd like it to.
A candle. It's like throwing a candle. And now here's my third question, once again, about the economics of this. Where'd they get all the money for the wax?
Yeah. I don't know. I got nothing. The economics of the movie are baffling. I don't know where they get the money for that. Like you said, the gasoline, because they were there for years. This wasn't like...
Oh, yeah. They were trying to, as you saw the sound, Trudy's, instead of House of Wax, Town of Wax.
Yeah.
That was their goal. So...
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it didn't look like people were coming to the House of Wax to be generating a revenue.
No. Maybe there was a wax mine somewhere in the forest. They were mining the wax.
That's your story and you're sticking with it?
Yes. There's a wax mine.
My third thing, though, is... Well, I guess that would have drawn too much attention if they opened the museum. Like, what was their end game with the Town of Wax? Was it, like, to get people back to the town? And then did they... once again, movie starring Paris Hilton.
Paris Hilton, yeah. You gotta kind of
But overall, I truly enjoyed it, first of all.
It's an enjoyable movie.
It's a fun ride. I would definitely suggest watching it if you haven't. And if you haven't, but you're listening,
you should not have listened to this podcast.
I don't know. But I have to say, one day, just because I can't not listen to The Villain Was Right, like I have to listen, and they had just done Ready or Not, which, by the way, if you haven't seen that, is a fantastic horror movie. I really enjoyed it. Adam Brody in My Life Can Do No Wrong, and if you love him as much as I do, I suggest watching that movie. He's fabulous. The whole cast is fantastic. And they basically spoiled, they were like, and they said it, I mean, right away, they were like, if you haven't seen this movie, don't listen to this. And I truly, I gotta be honest with you, that movie's, for me personally, their marketing did not do the movie justice, so I didn't think I was gonna watch it.
Oh, really?
And then I was like, why did the marketing fail me on this? Like, I don't know where my disconnect was.
I love the marketing. That's what made me want to see it.
Yeah, I don't know where my disconnect was for that. Or I don't know if I had because that other one, Knives Out, came out at the same time.
Oh, that, yeah.
And I don't know if maybe I conflated them in my brain.
Confused they were very similar, yeah.
Yeah. So, which actually Knives Out is a fun watch too. I mean, definitely not scary in any way, but a murder mystery type.
See, and me, I was like, I called Knives Out. I was like, again, spoiler alert, I never got the idea that we could trust Chris Evans. I was like, no, I don't trust him day one. Like, there was no twist.
No, we know it's him.
Yeah. But to me, like, when I went in, I was like, oh, I want it to be like this thing where I'm like, oh, I did not see that coming. But like the whole movie, I was like, yeah, that's about right. So not all of it. Like, there was a couple of surprises and like how he died or why he died.
To me, though, I enjoy the way the detective was able. I like watching that.
Yeah.
So even sometimes when I'm watching like Criminal Minds or something like that, and they show you the killer in the first scene, I enjoy watching how their brains work and the questions they ask to get to what we as the audience already know.
That's like Columbo. Like, that's how Columbo is. My mom watches that.
My grandmother and I used to watch Columbo. Oh, and we loved A Good Murder, She Wrote. Angela Lansbury. You were a treasure. God bless you. So yeah, I loved this. I thought this was a fun movie. I would say give it a watch.
Yeah. You don't have to watch the original. There's no, like, the only throwback. Wait, are you talking about House of Wax now? Or are you?
Yes.
Yeah. The only throwback to the original is that they named him Vincent after Vincent Price. Other than that, there's...
And the wax machine that he uses is very similar. Almost identical.
But it's like a more Saw-ish version of it.
It was, yes, definitely with that head contraption. But
it's a separate movie. It's not like...
It's a separate. You definitely don't have to watch the original. I wouldn't. If the original was an hour and 15 minutes, I'm never getting back. So Jen, next week we are doing Fright Night.
Yeah.
That's exciting for me because I've never seen either. Don't know how I missed them, but listen, Jen admitted she never saw Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, so that's my other point about this remake. Sorry, forgot this. If you go into a town and the movie on their matinee marquee is Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and it's 2005, nope the fuck out. Run.
Get out of there. If that's the movie you have on loop in your one little theater, yeah. I haven't even seen it, and I know that's messed up. You don't want that. You don't want that in your life.
You don't, no. Because really, what kind of profit are you making? I mean, at the very least, you'd want a film everyone could watch on loop.
Right.
That ain't it. So yeah. I'm excited to watch both Fright Nights. I've requested them from my library, so.
Woo!
They came in. I'm going to pick them up tomorrow because I got to go to our library for our library vote. As you all know, if you listen to the last one, I'm very passionate about voting. Vote.org if you have any questions about voting in your area. And Jen, why don't you tell them where they can find us?
Oh, so they can find us on all the modern millennial ways of communication, Twitter, we don't Twitter that much. We don't tweet.
We don't
Twitter. But it's there if you want to say something to us. Instagram, we're big there. Facebook page, it's all at horror, HORROR, in heels with that. Yes.
And we also have an email.
Yes.
andheels@gmail.com. Drop us a line. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. Tell us anything between. Just talk to us. Listen, I talk to a 2-year-old all day long, people. I need a little something. Give it to me.
Give it to me. And then yeah,
This
let
is
us
a
know
very
what
good
you
soundtrack.
drop a review. Drop some stars on our platform.
Our only review can't be for my husband, who's just scared that if he doesn't review me, I'll kill him. And
it's not a good look.
It's not a good look. I mean, it's a hysterical look, but I don't know that it's a good look.
I laugh every time I look at it.
Yeah.
Going on there thinking maybe someone else left us you. Nope, it's Ed. It's fine.
But
So just show some love. Give us a reason to come back next week.
And yeah, that's everything.